Hello and welcome to today's athletic reformer flow. This exercise flow is going to be about 45 minutes long. We're going to move through a traditional combined with a little bit of fun throughout Pilates series. We're only using our reformer and our box and platform extender today. So this one's going to be easy to follow along with, and I hope you guys love it. Let's get started. Okay, starting on 2 red springs and a blue spring, we are going to start laying down on our back. I want you to lower your foot bar all the way down to the base of your reformer, and we are going to grab our platform extender. Now your platform extender is going to be pushed all the way up against that wooden platform, and we're going to make sure it's nice and flat. Now laying down, I want you to make sure your headrest is lowered all the way down as well. We're going to start with some bridge work here. Now I love to start with bridging just as a nice warm up through our core and our hips. So to start, we're just going to do a few little pelvic rocks forward and back. So little inhale as we rock that pelvis up, exhale as we lower it back down. Starting to notice, can I feel the back of my shoulders pushing into the base of that reformer? Can I feel my rib cage softening downward as I imprint and lifting upward just slightly as I return to neutral? And we continue to breathe like this. Inhale as we roll back, exhale as we roll forward. We have one more like this. Now from here, we're going to move into our bridge. We're going to pull the ribs down towards the hips and start to roll up through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way up to the top of that bridge. Now at the top of the bridge, our glutes should still be relaxed. They should feel nice and loose, and our rib cage should be engaged. Then we're going to roll all the way back down. Beautiful. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll up to the top. Inhale to hold and let the rib cage expand. And exhale to roll all the way back down. Keep moving like this. We're going to exhale to roll up. Inhale to hold at the top, and exhale to roll all the way back down. You have 3 more. And exhale. 2, try to find that neutral before you start to roll up. Okay, last one like this, and we're gonna stay up in that rolled up position and hold. Now from here, I want you to lift both heels up and lower both heels down. Now this is going to be a good check-in to make sure your feet are even, your glutes are relaxed, and that weight is transferring over through the front of those toes. Your rib cage is connected, making sure you are not feeling any tension in your lower back. Instead, this is hamstrings and core and a little bit of calves as we lower and lift through those heels. You have 3 more like this. 2. Last one, keep the heels lifted, and now roll all the way back down through that spine. We're going to do 3 with the heels lifted. So this is just going to add a little bit more to our warm up here. Keeping our heels elevated, keep pressure on all 5 toes. 2 more. Last one, rolling it up, maintaining that pressure through the back of the hamstring. We are going to lift a foot up and lower it back down. And then again, lift a foot up and lower it back down. Now you're welcome to do this in an elevated heel position or with your heels down. You choose. Just being mindful that we are not hyperextending through that ankle joint as we're moving here. The glutes are still relaxed and that pelvis stays square. Lift up, lower down. As you lift that right leg, push the right hip a little forward. As you lift the left leg, push that left hip a little forward. That's going to help isolate into that stabilizing glute just a little bit more. 3 more. 2. Last one, let's keep the left foot up, lower the right heel down. You're going to push that carriage out and in little tiny pulses here. Now this is hard not to feel on your hip flexor, so you're really going to push through those feet. It's heavy. 2 more. Last one, set that foot back down, switch to the other side, same thing. Little pulses out and in on that carriage. Pushing your left hip out and your right hip forward. You have 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. From here, set that foot back down, keeping the carriage a little bit further out. Roll all the way back down through that spine and return the carriage. Now from here, we're going to do a little core work, and then we'll put our feet on that foot bar for a little bit of footwork, connecting through the adductors or the inner thighs. You're going to swing your knees across that body to one side and drag to center. Inhale as we come to center. Exhale as we drag across that body. Inhale as we come to center. Now as we're moving here, I want you to start to connect through the rib cage just a little bit more. Maybe try to pull the knees a little farther away from you so we can feel that transversus or those lower belly abs starting to fire. Imagine you have a little bit of a warmth right at the base of your pubic bone, and we're staying connected. Now the hips stay somewhat still here as we windshield wiper those knees from side to side. This is a great preparation for corkscrew, which we are about to go into. One more. And last one. Now from here, extend the legs out to the 45-degree angle. We're going to inhale as we lift the legs, exhale as we lower. And this is just getting us in a little preparation for that core to start to move through the backside of the spine, coming into some flexion. Lower the legs down to that 45-degree angle, point the toes, connect the abs. Inhale to hinge at the hips, exhale to roll all the way up and over, lifting through that spine. From here, we're going to exhale as we roll down, arcing through the right side of our obliques just a little bit more, swinging the legs down and around and slowly rolling all the way back up. Exhale as we roll down. Inhale as we swing around, and exhale as we come back up. Inhale as we roll down, and now exhale as we come back up. Finding that real Pilates breath here. Inhale as we roll down. Keep those hips somewhat square. Exhale as we roll back up. Inhale as we roll down, keeping those abs engaged. Exhale as we roll back up, both hips pointing towards the bottom of that reformer. Last one. Inhale to roll back down, mess that breath up. Exhale to roll back up. Inhale to hold and lengthen through the spine just a little bit. And exhale to roll all the way back down till those legs extend. Take a little breath. Now, as I'm circling my legs around, be very intentional that we're not overly tilting to one side. Now, there may be a little shift in those feet as we roll down through that spine, but we do want to maintain the hips squared towards the center of our reformer. So we're going to do 3 more each direction. We're going to inhale to hinge at the hips, exhale to roll all the way up and over, lifting through that torso. We're going to start to roll down through our right side. Circle the legs around. Inhale as we come back up. Exhale as we roll down through that left side. Circle around. Inhale as we come back up. Exhale as we circle down and around. Inhale as we come back up. Pull those elbows in towards one another. Inhale as we roll down. Exhale as we circle back up. Last one, each side. Rolling down, around, back up, and down, and around, and all the way back up. Inhale to hold, and exhale to roll all the way back down through that spine. Extend those legs, bring those knees into the chest, and rock from side to side. From here, we're gonna go ahead and sit up, taking that platform extender out of the way. We are still on those 2 red springs and a blue spring, and we're gonna pull that foot bar all the way back up. Now, starting in a nice Pilates V here, we're gonna start with our heels together and our toes apart, moving into our footwork. Exhaling as we press that carriage out and inhaling as we pull back in. Now reaching behind us, making sure that headrest is all the way back up, and then continuing to move here. Trying to relax through those glutes as much as we can and let that breath really start to carry us through this movement. Now I'm gonna reduce my turnout just slightly here and just check in on yourself. Since you are doing this at home by yourself, just make sure that those feet are right smack dab in the middle of that foot bar. And as you move here, you can feel those inner thighs staying rotated outward. So as you pull up, imagine you're almost corkscrewing those knees outward as the inner thighs connect. Finding that neutral pelvis with that rib cage nice and connected to the base of that reformer, and your glutes nice and softened towards the floor with a nice flat line from your hips to your pubic bone, kind of following that nice horizontal connection between the two. Last one, let's pull the carriage halfway back in. Little pulses down and up, down and up. Breathing deep. Three more. 2 in those little range pulses. Hold. Now from here, we're going to drop, drop, drop heavier into the glutes. Find that neutral even more and extend one leg out to the diagonal. Tap the foot back down. Extend the opposite foot out to the diagonal. Tap it back down. We have 10 of these. 9. Keeping that connection through both sides of your glutes. If you want to do a little check, you can always bring your hands underneath that booty and make sure you can feel both glutes connecting to the base of that reformer. 5 more. 4. Drop the glutes again. Make sure you can feel your hamstrings. Push the carriage out maybe 2 more inches to get a little more pressure through those legs. Last one. Keep that right leg extended. Hold. Now you're going to lower your left heel and lift a few times here, making sure both hips are laterally rotated as you just move through that ankle. 2 more. Last one. Oh, I'm getting shaky. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set that foot back down. We're going to switch directly into the other side. Same thing. Make sure that lateral rotation is happening here, and we are moving that carriage through our ankle. You have 3 more. Dropping into that right glute. Last one. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really turn out through that left hip. Set the left foot back down. Push that carriage all the way out and pull it all the way back in. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and sit up, taking your blue spring. Awesome. Moving on. 2 red springs. We're going to add a little jump here. Now I want you in a parallel position, and we're going to be slightly imprinted. So that means that we're going to find our neutral pelvis where our hip bones and our pubic bone are on the same horizontal axis. And then we are simply going to soften the space between the ribs and the hips just slightly. This is going to give us a little bit more access to our core. Now, as I jump, each time as I jump, I want you to imagine the abdominal wall pulling backwards instead of lifting upward, which is our tendency when we tend to jump, is that we like to use our rectus instead of our deeper transversus. So really try to think about tapping on either side of the abdominals right by the hips, and feel that abdominal wall connect. Let's take a big inhale to prepare. As we exhale, little jump and land, jump and land. And we're trying to hit before we hit that stopper. Remembering we're at 2 and 2 here on our spring settings, so this might feel a little odd. You have 3 more like this, softening the ribs. 2 and 1. Now from here, we're gonna do a full jump and land, full jump and land, full jump and land, full jump and land. I know it feels a little scary because we don't have that jump word, but you've got it. 3 more. 2 and 1. Come all the way back in, reaching your legs up to tabletop position. We're gonna roll up into an ab prep. We're gonna bring the hands behind the head and go into little bicycles here for 10, 9. I know, just keeping the abs engaged, maintaining that imprint we just worked on. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can drop into those glutes. 3 more. 2 and 1. Relax all the way back down. Take a second to breathe. Bring those hands back behind the head. Bring one leg up to tabletop. Do tiny little jumps off a single leg. So now the abs are a little bit more turned on, and we're breathing. You have 3 more. 2 and 1. Set that foot back down. Switch to the other side. Same thing. Little jumps. And this is so good because it's helping our tracking and our proprioception through our feet. So just tiny little jumps. Abs are engaged. Elbows are reaching slightly forward to let the arms drive that rib cage back using that serratus anterior. Last 1, 2, and 1. Set that foot back down. Now we're going to jump off one foot and land. Jump off the other foot and land. Now I'm being a little boring here, but if you want to switch, you can. Doing a little bit more work to think through your body movement and your mental connection to your body. 2. Last 1. And then relax. Push that carriage all the way out and pull it all the way back in. Whew. We are definitely warm. Now from here, we're going to drop down to 1 single blue spring. Now this is a little bit of a lighter spring tension, and we are going to be doing some tricep work. Now remember, our triceps are on the back side of our arm, right here at the base underneath the armpit. There are 3 primary muscles of the tricep that make the muscle group of the tricep together. And we're going to try and work more of the posterior side of that tricep. So you are going to grab both of your straps. Mine were a little bit crazy and far away from my reformer. I must have thrown them at some point, just a little bit. And from here, we're going to wrap our hands through our straps into a little reverse expansion. Now from here, we are just going to do a little tricep press back and reach the arms back forward. Now when you're in this kneeling position, your feet should be in 11s, which means that your toes are directly in line with the back of your knees. And we're pushing through the air like we're pushing through sand. So really feeling that muscular contraction, making sure that the inside of those elbows is rotated to the inside of the body. So we are not hyperextending through that elbow joint. You should start to feel the back side of those shoulders warming up and making sure that the glutes are nice and relaxed. Now here, I know you're like, Violet, this is very light spring tension. That is intentional. Then on this next one, we're gonna pull the arms back, open through the chest, and really get those triceps to fire, pushing the fingertips down to the ground. We're gonna look to our right and center. Look to our left and center. Take a big inhale and exhale, bring the hands back forward. Inhale to pull back. Exhale this time to look to our left first and center. Then our right and center and release. Again, let's pull those arms back. We're gonna look to our right first and center. Check in on those glutes and those hip flexors that they are not overworking, and release. Big inhale. Exhale as we look to our left and center. Then our right, then center, then release. You have one more like this. Pull the arms back, really open through the shoulder joint. Look to your right and center, your left and center, then release. Very last one, pull the arms back, feel the triceps engage. Look to your left and center, and your right and center. Check in on those elbows. Now from here, we're gonna start to hinge forward just slightly, and we're gonna open through the shoulder joint, connect through the abs, and separate the glutes. Now this is a little higher risk, so really, really slowly control that spring tension as you're moving. You should feel the backside of those arms really starting to fire up here. We have 5 more like this. Connect those abs. 4, 3, woo, crazy when you put a little mind to muscle connection here. Last one, we're gonna hold the arms back and breathe. Now I want you to do pulses back and back. They're so teeny tiny, but you're using the muscles on the back of your arms so much here. 3 more, woo, I'm getting shaky. 2 and 1. Now start to stack that spine back up. We're gonna open the arms out into a T and lower the arms back down. Now the trick here is that the carriage is not moving. We're working shoulder mobility while connecting through our triceps. This is a strange one for our body because we tend not to move with this palm flipped back position very often in a T, but it is so good for reaching the back side of that shoulder as well as the top of that delt. Pull the arms back a little farther if you can. 4 more. 3, 2, keep the hands facing back and hold. We're gonna do tiny little circles here. 3 more. 2, relax those glutes, just moving through only arms. Switch directions. 5, 4, really having to control that spring tension. 3, 2, last one. From here, you're gonna move those straps all the way up onto our elbows for open elbows. Now again, shake your glutes out. Make sure those hip flexors are nice and relaxed. Make sure you have equal weight in both hips. Then from here, we're gonna just open the arms out and pull them back in. Now the tendency when we do open elbows is to overly thrust through your chest and tuck your pelvis. Instead, I want you to keep the arms wide. Imagining you're drawing a line with those elbows and you're trying to make the rainbow of those elbows wider as you reach the elbows out wide versus when you start in at the middle. Palms stay facing in towards that body. Now this is more fatigue in an elevated position, so I want you to lift from underneath those elbows. We're using the back side of those shoulders. We're using our core to stay stable through our legs without tucking through our glutes. Try and get a little taller. 3 more. Woo! 2. Started rocking there, just a little more core. Hold. Now we're gonna raise the roof. Lift up, lift down, lift up, lift down. Imagine that those shoulders are dropping as the muscle underneath those armpits is lengthening. You have 10 of these. 9, 8, 7. If those triceps aren't warm by now, really think about them. 2 and 1. Bring your hands to either side of the head. Now from here, we're gonna do a little lateral flexion and leaning slightly forward to the right. Inhale to come to center. Exhale as we laterally flex to the left. Inhale as we come back to center. Now here you're keeping spring tension on both elbows and then lifting back up. Spring tension on both elbows here, lifting, lifting, and lengthening, lengthening, lengthening through that left elbow. Come back to center. You have 2 more. Last one, stay. 5, 4, let your shoulders drop, let your elbows lengthen. 2 and 1, lean a little more forward. Pulses up and down. 4, 3, make sure that rib is still stacked over the hip, and 1, switch sides, same thing, keep that pressure on that band, little up and down through the abs. Bring that left hip back just a little so you can access that left oblique a little more. Last one, and come all the way out. Woo, that was a burner of an arm series. We're gonna go ahead and drop those straps down. And from here, I want you to go ahead and come to a kneeling position on the left side of your carriage. We're gonna move into some lunge work here. Now we are still on that single blue spring. Woo, getting nice and sweaty. And we're gonna start with that left foot planted about at foot bar height of the edge of that middle. And then I want your right foot on your carriage with your right knee propped on the ground. Now, before we get moving, make sure your toe is actually propped under. It's gonna be a lot of strain through that heel, but that is okay. And then from here, we're gonna go ahead and start with our hands behind our head. Pulling our head back into our hands. I want you to just start with a little glute activation. We're gonna hinge back through both hips and then drive through the crown of the spine to stack back up. Hinge through both hips and rise back up. Exhaling as we hinge and inhaling as we come back up. I know it's starting to get birdie here. You've got this. 3 more. 2. Last one. Hold it down, breathe. Now from here, you're gonna reach your arms out in front of you and start to hinge into that left hip as you push the right leg in and out. Now your pelvis is gonna be slightly uneven, but try to drop that left glute down a little bit and hike that right hip up a little. 2 more. Last one, hold it there, breathe. Now from here, we're gonna lift the knee up and tap the knee back down. Now as we're moving here, push the left glute back a little bit more. Try not to move that carriage. Tap the knee back down. I know it's burning. You have 4 more. 3, 2, last one. Stay up. Now from here, you're gonna start to hinge forward into that front glute. Let the front knee come over the toe, hands come to the hips. Now from here, we're gonna bend and straighten that back leg for just a few reps, making sure those hips are as square as you can get them, getting some nice grip through that heel. Let's start to add an arm and a leg together. You have 5 more like this. Get a little deeper into that left glute. 4. Woo, it's starting to get burny. 3, 2. Last one, reach the arm and the leg and hold. From here, we're gonna start to drop that right shoulder down and reach with both arms. Woo! Little tip there. Come back to center. Pull the knee back in. Again, we're gonna reach that leg back. Start to drop that right shoulder down, rotate through that left hip. Come back to center, pull the knee back in, reach it back out. We have 2 more like this. Rotate, 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 rotate. Coming back to center, pull the knee in, kick it back out. Last one, rotate, 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 rotate. Come back to center. Now rotate back in and hold and breathe. Get lower, get lower, get lower. Let your left knee drive over your toe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Come all the way out of that. We're gonna move on to both knees, coming into a little long stretch in between before we move to the next side. Knees are gonna be on the ground. Feet are gonna be propped up against those shoulder rests. And again, chest is long. We're just gonna push that carriage out and pull it back in. Now our heart rate is a little higher and we're breathing. And this is just small movement, really just to open that chest up and get us out of that neck. Get the ribs a little bit more integrated as you move here. Gaze stays long. 3 more. Use those arms, not those hips, to pull back in. 2. Last one. Hold it out. Breathe. Get a little longer. 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 Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull all the way back in. We're that 2 more times. Get a little longer. 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 Hold. Engage through those lats. Push down, down, down into that foot bar. Pull all the way back in. Last one. Reach a little farther, reach a little farther, reach a little farther. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and push a little more. Length through those lats. Push down through the shoulders. Core is engaged. Pull all the way back in. And let's push back into a little shell stretch. Taking a couple big deep breaths. Pulling that carriage all the way back in. We're gonna move to the other side from here. We're gonna plant that right foot down on the floor. Our left foot is going to come up against the shoulder rest with the knee planted. Now to start, we're just gonna start by pushing that carriage out and in a few times just to get comfortable with our positioning, making sure our foot is in a good place. Now from here, carriage comes back into that stopper and hands come straight out in front of us. We're gonna start to hinge down and lift back up. Now remember, the arms go forward as the glutes go back, trying to keep equal weight in both hips. I gotta put a little more weight in that right glute. Stand it back up. You have 4 more like this. 3, big exhale. 2, try to keep that torso a little higher for this last 2. Last one, hold and breathe. Kick the carriage out, pull it back in. Kick the carriage out and pull it back in. And as you're moving here, I want you to increase that breath and to be longer and a little bit more full of the rib cage. Now, when I say that, I mean I want you to breathe into the sides and the back of the ribs and less through the neck. 2 more. Get good positioning on that toe and hold. Now from here, we're gonna lift the knee off and come all the way up to standing lunge. Stack your hips and then come back down, maintaining that hip stack. Tap the knee. Stand it all the way back up. Tap that knee, come all the way down, 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 down into your lunge. Stand it all the way back up. We're working on an isolated hold here, getting better prepared to be able to do front splits and back splits by maintaining carriage stability as we move through the hamstrings. This time, try to keep your left hip down and push your right hip back just a little more. Hold it there, bend that front knee, and we're gonna come in and out here in that nice, beautiful lunge. I gotta readjust my foot just slightly here as we're breathing. And then I want you to make sure that your rib cage is still integrated. Your spine is long. We have 4 more. Push that right hip back. Hike your left hip up just a little bit. So you can feel that right glute cheek really starting to fire right here at the base of the glute. 2. Last one. Hold the leg out. Breathe. Now from here, you're going to isolate into that glute fiber just a little more. Start to rotate, dropping your left shoulder down and rotating to the right side of your body. Come back to center. Pull the knee in. Kick it back out. We have 4 more like this. 4. Big exhale. Inhale to come back to center. Inhale and exhale and rotate and center. Pull in, kick out. This is our last one. Stay and rotate. Hold. Get deeper in your glute, deeper in your glute, deeper in your glute. Bend your knee. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back in. Woo! That is fiery. Okay, from here, we're going to add 1 red spring. Grabbing our box. It's going to go short box in front of our shoulder rest. Ooh, that glute is warm. We're going to go ahead and grab that box. It's going to go in front of the shoulder rest in a short box position. Again, getting into that transition here, taking time to breathe. Now, your foot bar is all the way up. If you know you tend to struggle with hip flexor tightness, you can always bring this down one setting. We're going to be moving into some stomach massage variations. So, typically in stomach massage, we would be down on the carriage, but because a lot of our hip flexors tend to struggle in that traditional setting, I am bringing our pelvises up. This is gonna put more emphasis on the core as well as our spinal stabilizers. So from here, you are gonna bring both feet onto that foot bar with the heels together, the toes apart. You are gonna bring your hands to either side of the box, and then I want you to be as upright as on your pelvis as you can. Feeling both sits bones connect to the base of that reformer, and then pulling your rib cage back so your spine is long and tall. Now we're gonna push the carriage out through those legs. We're gonna lower the heels, lift the heels, and pull back in. Now you'll notice my pelvis does not stay perfectly still, but the goal is to try to achieve as straight of a spine as you can as you're moving here. Now if you're like, Violet, my knees will not go straight, that is okay. Push out as far as feels comfy, lower your heels, lift your heels, and pull back in. So you choose what feels good for your independent body. Lower down, lift up, bend the hip, knee, and ankle to come back in. Again, push it out. Lower the heels down, lift them up, bend the hip, knee, and ankle to come back in. Push that carriage out. Lower the heels. Lift the heels. Come back in. Now we're going to take one hand off. Same thing. Push it out. Lower the heels. Lift the heels. Push that opposite hip back. Bend the knees. Pull it back in. Keep the spine tall. Push it out again. Lower and lift those heels. This is starting to get us sweating here. Pull back in. Switch hands. Same thing. Push that carriage all the way out. Lower and lift those heels. And then bend the hip, knee, and ankle to come back in. Push that carriage all the way out. Lower the heels. Lift the heels. Pull that carriage all the way back and keep the abs engaged. Now we're going to bring both hands out in front of us for our full straight back. Rib cage is connected. Booty is popped. Now we're going to push that carriage all the way out. We're going to lower and lift through those heels and bend the knee, hip, and ankle to come back in. Ooh, that's a challenge for those hamstrings. Push out, lower and lift the heels, and pull back in. Okay, we're going to start to build it up. Push it out, lower and lift the heels 2 times here. Pull all the way back in. Push the carriage out again. Lower and lift the heels 3 times. 2, watch those ribs. Last one, pull them back towards the wall behind you. You have 4 more this time. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the hip, knee, and ankle and pull back in. You have 5. Push that carriage out. Lower and lift those heels. 5, 4. Pop that booty, sit into both glutes. Pull back in. This time you're doing 6. It's our last one. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Pop those booties. Pull those abs back. And exhale. Stay up. Hold. Now from here, you're going to start to roll back through your belly. And roll all the way back up. Attach those heels if you can. Roll back through your belly. Roll all the way back up. You have 2 more. Roll it back, rounding through your spine. Roll all the way back up on those sits bones. Last one. Ooh, it's shaky. Roll it down. Hold it there. Lift a foot and lower. Lift a foot and lower. Great preparation for tendon stretch and control front. 2 more. Last one. Bend the hip, knees, and ankles. Dig those Achilles into the base of that foot bar, and we're just going to do a few more half rollbacks here. Starting to let our heart rate calm back down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. And exhale. Sit all the way back up. And start to open those arms out to the sides. Step one heel of the foot off, then the other. Okay, to finish off here, we are going to go ahead and take our box off of our reformer. We are going to move to 1 red spring and 1 blue spring. And you guys, we are going to finish with feet and straps. So when you're ready, go ahead and move into that transition now. Okay. You guys, you did such a great job today. Let's go ahead and grab those straps from either side of us. And then to lay down, we'll lay down on one shoulder. We're going to do it the proper way, coming down onto one shoulder, stacking the knees, rolling all the way up into the middle of our spine. Now grabbing both of your straps, and you're going to go ahead and make sure your headrest is all the way up. Place one foot in the strap, then put the other foot in the strap. Now you can also do this with 1 foot at a time coming off that foot bar, but usually when we're at this point in a more athletic workout, we're more comfortable with those straps. So it's up to you and your body how you get your feet in. Then we're going to inhale, bringing the legs all the way up to a 90-degree angle. Check in on your ribs. They should be softened towards the base of that reformer. Your legs should be long and your knees should be lengthened with your quads firing. Exhaling as you lower and inhaling as you lift. Exhaling as we lower, inhaling as we lift. Again, little bend in those knees so we're avoiding that hyperextension. Exhale as we lower, inhale as we lift. That gluteus maximus is trying to drop heavy into the floor and it's staying connected as your hips hinge back up. Last one, we're going to exhale and lower those legs down. Point through those toes. Now flex through those toes. We're going to do a little bend and stretch. So we're going to bend those knees in and then straighten both legs out. And as we're moving, the knees stop directly above those hips, no further, and then they push back out. This is going to allow for the abdominal wall to connect and our spines to stay nice and long. Push through that left leg. You guys, I know Our bodies are so shaky, just letting that breath start to carry you through this motion, trying not to let your shoulder rest hit into the shoulders. Last one, hold it out at that diagonal. From here, we're gonna bring the legs up to the ceiling, out to the sides, and down and around, just moving into some beautiful leg circles here. Keeping that pelvis nice and stable, that core nice and engaged. Check in on both sides of the ribs, making sure that both sides are the same length. Big inhale and exhale. Heels stay together as you lift. Switch directions, come back up to the sky, staying turned out. You're gonna lower those legs down, circle them around, and bring them back up to the ceiling. Maintaining that turn out through the hips, throughout. You have 2 more like this. Last one. And then from here, grab up on the white portion of the straps, or if you have black straps, that works too, pulling the feet back towards the face. Then let's bring the soles of those feet together, pressing on the outsides of those knees. And I want you to reach your arms out as big and as wide as you can, letting the soles of the feet drop down to the floor, opening through that chest. Taking a big inhale. Second quick inhale. And then exhale deeply through your mouth. Pull your knees up into your chest. Rock from side to side. Remembering your body is so amazing. It made it through that entire workout using all the muscles in your body. Thanking your body for walking through life with you, for taking care of you, and for going through that absolutely killer workout. You guys, you can go ahead and take your feet all the way up and out of the straps. And then come all the way up to sitting. Whew, that was loud. Thank you guys so much for coming today to my athletic reformer class. I hope you loved it so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys wouldn't mind liking and subscribing to my page, I post follow-along workout videos like this almost every week. And I hope you guys love this one using our reformer and just our body weight. I hope you loved it. Let me know below what your favorite exercises were and if you have any questions on anything that we did today. And I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks so much. Bye.